Hey, Cliff, I know you were pretty hard on yourself in terms of some of your play calling yesterday. I'm wondering, after you watched the game and kind of digested everything, did you feel any better about how you did things in terms of that?
Not really. I just once again felt like we didn't get a good rhythm going, and I have to do a better job of getting us in a flow offensively. We had some nice plays here and there, but never really got it clicking consistently.
Hey Cliff, just wondering if you had any update on Chris Banjo, and also how did you think Deontay Thompson played in his place?
I thought DT stepped in and had some good moments, had some things we got to get better at, but for the limited time that he's seen real live game action, I was proud of how he handled himself, and we'll see on Chris, kind of a day-to-day deal at this point.
Cliff, wondering if you can confirm if Tony Jefferson is going to be working out for the team, and just looking at the safety shortage in general, has there been any discussion about having Isaiah do anything at safety with all the injuries you guys have had?
There has been discussion. As far as the workouts go, I know Steve and those guys are putting those together now, but Isaiah's a guy who played multiple positions. Obviously there at Clemson, has a feel for some of that, and with those bodies being down, we may have to look into that.
Next three, please. Catherine, David, Jess.
Cliff, on Isaiah, Vance Joseph was saying recently how Isaiah likes to learn the whole defense just to understand what his role will be, whether he gets put into a different position, even if so far all of his reps have been at linebacker. So how much can that help him if he is switching kind of quickly? And is that something you've seen out of other rookies?
I think he is unique in that there was somewhat of a comfort level playing multiple positions coming from Clemson. He obviously has to learn an entirely new defense, new terminology, new scheme, but he has a feel for multiple positions, and I think that will help the learning curve. I know Vance is trying to kind of spoon feed it here and there to not overload him, but he's done a nice job so far at picking things up, and we just had to keep him coming. Without the offseason, particularly, it made it tough on him, but he's made big strides recently, and we continue to try and get him more incorporated in the defense.
Hey, Cliff, through three games, no interceptions for the defense. And then I think last year, y'all were last in the league with 7 interceptions. I know the defense has played generally better this year, but what do you think the cause is of those lack of interceptions? Is that a kind of a fundamental flaw? Is that luck? Is that, you know what I mean? What can you attribute that to, I guess?
I do think the defense has made big strides overall. We like to take the ball away more. There's no question. We gave 3 away yesterday, and we can't do that offensively. But I just think we got to keep grinding away at it as this defense continues to gel and come together. I think those will show up, but just hasn't happened yet.
After looking at the film between Andy and Keyshawn, what did they do well? What do they still need to work on? And secondly, was the getting Justin Murray in there kind of like what you did with Mason last year, just trying to get him some work because he's earned it?
I was really pleased with Andy. He had a great camp and really done some nice things, and to see him transition that to the playing field was great. I mean, he's a guy who can really run. He's worked really hard at it, very conscientious in his preparation. So it was great to see him have that success. And then Key, it was unfortunate he was out with the COVID issue, and he was still kind of getting his feet wet a little bit out there, and just has to keep coming. As far as Justin Murray goes, he's a guy, played a lot last year. We want to keep Sweezy fresh and get him some work in there, and I thought rotating him on a couple series was a nice change-up for our offense.
Next up, Howard, Jody, and Catherine.
Hey, Cliff, you mentioned the lack of rhythm. The whole game seemed to be a game of extremes. Looked good on the scoring drives. On offense, the rest not so much. Defense pretty good generally, but those 2 drives at the end of the half and the end of the game. Any explanation for that, or is just kind of the way games can go sometimes?
I think just the way it went. It's up to us as players and coaches to be more consistent throughout the game and not have those kind of peaks and valleys, if you will. For whatever reason, we had some high points and then hit some low points when we couldn't have that happen, and Detroit took advantage of it and made the plays when they had to. So you got to give them credit. And, they came in here and found a way to get it done.
Kliff, the Lions were saying how they were a bit gassed during the game with your up-tempo offense. I'm curious, how did that actually affect your play calls and your personnel, especially in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get to stay on the field much. We felt like we were at a point where we could take advantage of some of that. But they did a good job getting us off the field, had 3 and out there when we were backed up, and then, pushed it to about the 50 and had to punt. So you got to give them credit for standing up. You could tell that we had pushed the tempo, and the previous 2 weeks had taken advantage of that in the fourth quarter, but we weren't able to do that this week.
Kliff, with Chase Edmonds getting the official start in that first play, I know that he and Kenyon don't really seem to care just about the title of starter itself, but what was your reasoning on that, and how much of that is tied to what you've said about getting Kenyon more involved later in the game?
Yeah, that was more just play selection. We had a play we wanted to run early and try to get it going, and that was it. And Kenyon was great about it. Kenyon's our starter. He understands that, but we had a play we liked and wanted to start the game with.
We will wrap it up with the final 4, Kyle and Cam, David and Richard.
Kliff, is the hope that Budda can get back after just 1 game absence, and just more generally with him, how much does it hurt not having him back there? It almost seems like he's kind of a safety valve where he cleans a lot of things up from safety.
There's no question he's one of the best players in the league and makes a lot of things right defensively when he's back there. So we'll see how the procedure goes and kind of take it from there. But hopefully sooner rather than later on that.
Hey, Kliff, I noticed your shirt.
Sorry, it broke. Can you repeat the question? I lost you.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Kliff. I noticed your shirt yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Coach McVay, he was our director of football operations, longtime friend, longtime mentor at Texas Tech, passed away about a month ago, and just the university sent me the shirt. Just wanted to represent for him. He's a person who meant a lot to me. Was always very proud of me and supportive, and so just felt like the right time to do it.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Kyle. Sorry, Coach. I was asking about Kyler. This year so far, I think 4 touchdown passes to 5 interceptions. Obviously, again, he's doing a lot of things right. But, from his reads and things like that, are they just bad throws? Or, is it kind of a second-year guy working through reading the field? What have you seen from him passing, like the consistency, I guess?
I'd just say some tough breaks on a few of those. I mean, he just definitely pushing the envelope. He's trying to make a lot of plays and create, and you got to walk that fine line. And some things didn't go our way yesterday. The first one was unfortunate, kind of got his arm hit and had some tough breaks on the other ones. But, he's going to be aggressive, and that's what we want. And even with all that, we had the ball with the chance to win the game at the end. And his kind of playmaking ability allows us to do that even when we're not playing at our best. He keeps us in those games. But we'll continue to clean that up. And I think as the season goes on, that'll be less of an issue.
Yeah, Coach, kind of on that same path, but not just for Kyler, but for the entire team. Just talk about the opportunity to kind of find out what these guys are made of. This is kind of the first taste of adversity after, 2 wins, bouncing back from your first loss.
No doubt. Tough loss in that fashion, getting beat right up there at the end in a game that you felt like you could have played better. You got to give Detroit credit. We knew we'd get their best shot coming in, being 0-2, and they have a very talented football team, all-pro quarterback. So we'll find out this week kind of how we rebound. But it's a veteran group with great leadership, and they understand where we think this team can go.